Good evening, all of my viewers, those of you who will be tuning in later, any of my lookers, bookers, my IG family, anyone who's tuning in tonight, I welcome you, I welcome you, I welcome you. So, as you all know, before we get started, we're going to make sure we hit that subscribe button, we like, and if you really, really like, share with someone because what is not for you may be for someone else, right? So again, it is Mindset Monday, and I titled this tonight Special Edition. What is this going to be about, right? So I wanted to keep in mind that it is Mindset Monday, and with any information that I give out, I want you to just literally take a moment and just make sure that your mind is open to different things. Because even me, I sometimes I felt like, hey, I've been to school, I've worked here, I've been there, but it is also very, very true that you learn something new every day. However, if you don't keep an open mind, if you continue to stay shut in just one box and only see things from one point of view, you may miss out on some things. So also that term that you always heard everyone say, what you don't know won't hurt you. Not true. Not true. I literally just told someone tonight, had I known back in 2011 some information that I knew now, my life, my family's life would be totally different. However, I'm also a big believer that everything is in perfect timing, and when it's for you, it will be for you. So, special edition tonight, always about your mindset. But I just wanted to kind of ask a couple questions, kind of get you guys to see a certain, see things the way I've seen it. I've talked about my business and I trade, I invest. I'm with an amazing company, I Am Mastery Academy. And I tell, just the other night I had a business dinner with some queens, some very amazing ladies. And I got asked a question, me and why I'm here still. And I will have to tell anyone outside of anything, I'm in the medical field. I've been in the medical field for over 11 years. So I'm the type of person that I normally do things if it goes with my morals, if it feels good at the heart, and most importantly, um, if it makes me feel good, it doesn't turn me into a different person, or I don't have to be someone else to actually be involved. So even with the healthcare field, anybody gets a job, anyone, go out there to find a trade or something to do to make sure that you're able to feed your family, that you want to be able to make sure that the lights are on, make sure food is on the table. And so for me, when I got into the healthcare field, prior to that, I've done so many other jobs. Straight out of high school, my first job was at a plant. And a chicken plant, a poultry plant, whatever you want to call it. But that's where my first job was at, and very humbling experience. And that job fed me. That job kept my son fed and kept the lights on. So I do appreciate where I started from. However, when I decided to go into the healthcare field, I went in to still make sure I feed my family, but it was a hard job. It was a job that I could never look at the finances, because if it was for the check, if I wanted the check and the check was most important to me, I'd left a long time ago. But I stayed in and I stayed faithful to, the medical field, and will continue to do that. Just different journeys of it. Because it was a hard job, because anything what I gave to the job and to my patients and what they gave back to me was so rewarding that it could never um you could never put a price tag on that. You could never put a price tag on being there for someone in their last days, or just helping someone when they don't have any loved ones to do that for them. Um, and then me, myself personally, don't have any grandparents left here. I love them to death. But they are no longer with me. So being in the healthcare field served me in so many other ways. It was rewarding because I was around the elders, I was gaining wisdom, and again, I was able to make a difference in someone's life. So the other night while at dinner, when someone asked me, why am I still here? I was like, listen, honey, when I got into this business, when I got in and joined I Am Mastery Academy, it was literally, I saw some information. It made sense to me. So that's the next thing. When it makes sense, it makes sense. And so it made sense to me after seeing the information. So I immediately jumped in, and initially, I'm already at my heart job. So initially it was just, having an extra stream of income. And then when I started paying attention, when I really started digging deep into the company, it was focused on God first. It was, being around a group of people who, remind you and shouldn't have to remind you. I was that type of person. I basically said, man, when they centering this thing on God and I get to make money, listen, my exact words was, I can unpack the suitcase now. I can get comfortable here now because now I know that there's a difference between, it's almost similar to, yeah, like what I was already doing for 11 years already. It was a hard job. And so now it was a hard job, but in a totally different way. And now you have it here today. I'm here sharing everything that I am, who I am, and in the public eye because it's just inspiring. It's not just inspiring, it has done wonders for me. So and the next thing, with changing my mindset is change my mindset because I am, on a path where I'm closer to God. I know the difference now in, keeping myself private versus coming out to the public to actually make a difference in someone's life. And when I get messages, when people remind me that, they see what I'm doing and they're encouraged and they are inspired by the things that I say and I do, I can only out of just who I am and being fair, I have to make sure that I give credit where credit is due. If it wasn't for me joining Iron Mastery Academy, if it wasn't for me being in this business, I would have remained a person who was completely private in their life. And again, telling you guys the backstory of me being in the medical field, that's just and a mother and as a person, because regardless of whether you have kids or not, everyone has to make sure that they're able to survive out here in this world because nothing is free. And my thing with that was I get to be positioned in a place where I can have an extra stream of income. This is where the mindset comes in because it is still Mindset Monday. What if, or not what if, because so many of us have been doing this is all we know and it's not our faults. It's just, again, what we had access to, what information was available to us to even know. And if we had our parents and their parents, if they didn't know to teach us any of this, right? So being this opportunity, it was centered on God. Not just that, it was, to me, it was another form of schooling because what this academy is, it is an educational platform to teach you the information that allows you to also have an extra stream of income. And again, being in the healthcare field, a hard job, and all of those things, I was placed in a position, and thank God I had already joined this opportunity where, unfortunately, I was surviving, and because I know my God is good, um, He made sure that I had what I needed. But also, I was at a point where, you know, I had one stream of income. And it got to a point where I medically now had to sit that to the side and man, I tell you, if I had only had that one stream of income, if it was just solely me depending on feeding my family, eating, depending upon my job and my job only, bills wouldn't have gotten paid. I wouldn't have maybe able, to do the things that needed to be done and make sure that things were still covered if I just still had that one stream of income. Sure, it's still a hard job and I love what I do. Um, that'll just always be in me. However, things still moved on, things still had to be done. But at that particular time, keeping your mind open, having one stream of income is not just something that a lot of us are used to doing. It's now at the point where it's the dangerous thing for us all to be doing because anything can happen. And if nothing else told you that, we have a whole pandemic out here and it hit us, at the end of 19, the beginning of 2020. And who would have thought that it would still be around right now today? But it has caused a lot of uproar in the world. And I say it that way because I know people have been affected by it. My family has been affected by it. Um, and so what I can say is that I know that is something serious. But at the same time, because I know the God that I serve, I also understand that a lot of times in anything that doesn't look good, that doesn't seem good, if you truly believe, if you're able to keep your mind open and see things not just in a boxed in view, but from a wider range, if you actually take a step back and look at the entire picture, besides just the side of town that you're on, you'll actually see that this pandemic brought on a lot of blessings as well. It did some damage, it did, but with that, there's that, that bitter with the sweet. And if you just stay prayerful, stay faithful, you and keep an open mind. Like a lot of us have been positioned or have been placed in situations because of the pandemic that we now had to see things a different way, that we had no other choice but to go out there and think of something else or other opportunities and or another way to feed our families because this pandemic came and took a lot of jobs. Thank God I have the healthcare field, and that's a job that will always be available. Unfortunately, we'll always need someone to care for us and others. Um, I didn't have to so much worry, but at the same time, I still did because a very sticky situation being in the healthcare field because we are the frontline workers. We have to show up regardless on what's going on, regardless on how we're feeling, regardless on what is in front of us or what we have to walk into. We are frontline workers, and so imagine all the ones who weren't in the healthcare field, the jobs that got taken away because you solely depended upon one stream of income or one way to feed your family and take care of it. Hopefully, your job meant more to you than just finances because then you would have a different view as well. However, it's a dangerous place to be, but it made a lot of us move. Hmm. And when I say it made a lot of us move, it made a lot of us it gave us no other choice but to find another way, but to trust in something else in God. And if you don't believe in God, there is a higher power that you believe in. What you decide to call him, her, I don't know. That's totally up to you. That is a personal choice. However, I know that this brought along some down things, but it brought along a lot of great things. It forced us to move into a direction that calls us to believe more, to have more faith, to have an open mind. That even now, sometimes seeing family or visiting someone has to be via what? Social media or your phone. We had to find other means to make a way, and that forced you. And if you were paying attention, the biggest lesson there was is that there's other way to get it done. There's other ways to make it happen. There's other blessings out here, and blessings do come in disguise. It's just how you choose to see that. Did you choose to see this as just a chaotic time, a scary time? Yes, it is all those things, but a lot of people were opening businesses, their own businesses, because they had no control over what their boss decided to do at their job, whether they decided to keep it open, whether they could keep it open, whether they had no other choice but to shut it down. Or what if they even or if they had no control over whether or not their job put out stipulations, and now if you don't do this or you don't do that, you can't work here. But now that you got put into a tough situation or a sensitive situation, you had to open your eyes. You had to scratch your mind a little bit. How the old folks used to say is it's more than one way to skin a cat. And that is so true. And so again, with joining this opportunity, thank goodness I had already, just literally couple months into joining this opportunity when the pandemic hit. And so even after that, again, I still had my job, but I didn't know that I would have to go out medically, for some other issues. And at that time, the majority of my income solely did depend upon my job. However, because I was in this opportunity, because I was now drop shipping and running my own online store, I was making sales and money was still coming in. And so I could still make sure the bills got paid. And during that time, I think I was out of work for a couple months. I was able to, again, if you know investing, I trade, I get in the markets, I make money because now times are different, right? Just how we don't have to physically go see someone, or we don't have to physically go to the store and send, or go take them something. We can literally, at the touch of a button, send someone some money. At the touch of a button, call someone and see them. I love that now because, even with my parents, they're older and they're not in the same state as me. But to be able to pick up the phone and video chat them in real time, it is awesome. It is amazing. So, just having an open mind to that, and even them, now leading the pandemic. My dad was one not big on technology, and he loved his flip phone. He loved his old school stuff, shall I say. But now he even had to adjust to something different. And that has been great for him. It turned out to be a good thing. And we get to see each other more often, and all of those things. So taking a sweet along with the bitter. But I say all that to say, this academy has done wonders for me, not just, providing an extra stream of income centered on God, making sure that you know that God is first in everything. He should be first in everything that you do. Your higher power should be first in all that you do. You should give thanks to something that is outside of humans' control, the flesh. So I have to give insight and I have to give credit where it's due. I got that. I'm now, my mindset is different. The way that I see things, the way that I choose to see things, I've always kept an open mind, was kind of a curious child. But now having this mindset has allowed me to grow so much. There's personal self-development, personal growth and self-development has been a journey, an amazing journey. Some that is, sometimes I'm like, really? But the change and the growth that I even see in myself is amazing. All because I made a decision to sign up and say I was going to make an extra stream of income. But again, if you were tuned in last week, profits over prosperity. And having prosperity, came from, being an opportunity. And it's profits, it is self-growth, self-development, where I get to check myself, get to, watch myself grow and work on me. Seriously, physically, mentally, emotionally, I get to work on being a better me. But most importantly, for me, man, my spiritual journey is so different. It is growing so much. Um, I can only give thanks to that. I can also only give thanks to the fact that, this opportunity, this educational platform has given me more than I bargained for, more than I signed up for, shall I say. I got way more than I signed up for. For me, that's called grace. That's grace because who else could have orchestrated something like this, out of something that came about that was supposed to be so, devastating, that blessings could form from it. I don't know, but my mind, my heart, my soul, everything in me tells me it was it was my God. It was that amazing power. And I'm so grateful for that. So also keeping an open mind, you guys. I don't want to be on here too long, but I do want to make sure I get the point across. Not that this is just an educational platform that teaches you a skill. What if, we all had to go to school, right? I think most of my viewers are adults. So we went through school, went through high school, all those things. And again, I'm in the healthcare field. So schooling is something that I'll probably always have to have a part in. Things change, rules change, regulations change. There's always going to be some kind of training that I would need, even by staying in the healthcare field. So I have now I Am Mastery Academy, where I run my own organization. I get to be an independent business owner, but not just that. What if you could go back to school to learn a skill set, a trade, and it's once it's up here, who can really take that away from you? Who can come cancel what you've already learned, what's already in your mind? You're in control of that. So now what if you could just, think if you could go back to school and for real, seriously have a buddy system. This is an educational platform where you get to learn together. You get to learn as a team, as an organization, as a family. So now I have something, that is teaching me, education, but now I get to focus on my faith. I get to study and focus and work with a family who all have common goals, who support you, who make sure that you are running for your goals. That made a difference for me. Again, I have a love-hate relationship with school. And even going to school, what if you could be in control of the amount of debt that you had? What if there was no debt and as you learn, you get to pay? Because college, unfortunately, again, medical field, I'll always probably have to do some kind of schooling. But how many of us actually attended college, unless you got a class that you had to work in groups? Couldn't get no help to get through it to make sure that you get what you're doing. Well, there's outside of class, there's that study groups and all those. So I don't want to say there's none of that. But where literally the instructors, your classmates, you're all technically learning together. College is still, is the thing, not here to bash a college or a job. But what if you could have the best of both worlds? Because college has always been the it thing to do, or what we've been taught to do, go to school, get an education, go to college, get a degree, go out there and see who's going to accept you, in order for you to make money from the degree that you just got. However, being completely transparent, how many of us have degrees and are actually working in that field or actually utilizing them? However, we still have years of debt or years of college tuition, years after being finished, that we have to pay for. So now, even when we decide to go and find a career or find a job, we have to split that not only with the house, right? Not only with home, but for the next 5 to 10 to 15 years, we have to now also split that. That's already 3 ways. And I don't know, I say 3 ways because if you count yourself in what you go and work hard for, I'm gonna say me. I have to split that between 4 people. I have to split that between my higher power. Let's talk about that. I have to split that between tithing. Because how did you get that job? There was someone um, that gave you a blessing. And not just that, now you have to split it with yourself second. Because if you go to work every day, you work hard, you want to make sure you get paid for that. You want to get something out of it. I don't care if it's, us ladies, we want to make sure our nails is done, our hair is did. Yeah, she's all natural. But we want to make sure that we do things for us. Then, but I think we come maybe third because you want to make sure the lights stay on. You want to make sure that food is on the table, that clothes are on your back. But you also have to split that one more time because if you did what they told us to do always, what we've always known to do, you now have to split that with, yeah. Although you finish your education and you're done, you got all the credits that you needed, you still got a balance left. So now you got to split that check with that too. Now we ain't even gonna add in all the rest of the tabs and the rest of the bills and things and necessities um that comes along with it too, but we have to split that. And how does that work? How does that really pan out for the majority of us? Or are we stuck squeezing and pulling and pinching and fighting to still have something left for ourselves? But now because my mind is open, because things have happened, because there's the sweet that came along with some bitterness, that I'm now in an opportunity where I'm going somewhere to learn, right? I'm learning a skill set, but that skill set is now in return giving me profits. And not just that it's giving me profits. I get to learn with a group of people. It's forcing me and positioning me to focus more on my faith and have an open mind. Mm, I don't know. For me personally, that does something for me. That seems like now that's the icing on top of that bitter and sweetness. And I don't know if you're someone who like to eat a little salt on top of something, that you ever gotten a little sweet treat and then there was something else that you added to it that had just a tad bit of salt in it. Devoured it. Yes, set very well. And so that's what this opportunity has done for me. That's what it is. Again, don't want to be here long, but I wanted to kind of let you guys know that this is not just an opportunity that you signed up for. This is something that you signed up for. You get to be in business for yourself, but not by yourself. You're reminded every day and all the time that it is bigger than you. There's people in this company and leaders and stuff in this organization who make a difference out here in this world, who give back to those less fortunate, who's actually literally in Forbes magazine. I have to mention him, Bryce Thompson, Dr. David Emenike. They do so many great things, but Bryce Thompson, because I have a love-hate relationship with school. And man, he uses what he's gained from learning a skill set and the profits it gave him, that he now has so much prosperity that he's able to actually pay college debts in full. He's actually able to handle, because unfortunately schooling is still needed, right? So for those who, whatever career path they choose, to make a difference in the world or utilize their purpose for being here, that they don't have to worry about a tuition, that they can go to school, and now when they're done, they're done. So now when they get hired or they start their own business, they don't have debts to work out. They don't have that. They don't have to start in the real world with a whole bunch of baggage on top of them. That soothes my soul in so many different ways you just don't understand. And so when I talk about this opportunity, it's not just to get anyone to sign up for this, that, or the third. It's more so to get you to see what you could be signing into, what you could be doing, how you could be growing, how you could, you know, have that faith. I don't know about you guys also, but if any job that you've been at, again, like I said, I've worked lots of jobs prior to being in the healthcare field. And it would have made such a big difference if there was a job that I was at, especially all those years. In my younger days, I'm still young, but in those early days, um, if it was a job because I had no other choice but to be there because I needed to make an income, right? But if they cared about who I was, not what I was for them, if they knew who I was, if they cared anything about my goals, about the long term, if they cared about whether or not I was, at work all day and, making sure things happen for their company, but yet when I went home, they knew for sure that I had enough food on the table that night. If they cared enough about my mental that they made sure that I was grounded in some faith and had some belief that I could do and grow outside of even helping them in their business. If a job gave me that, and I'm not saying that there's not a job out there that does that, because I do know some people actually have jobs where they're actually seen as more than just an employee. They're more than just a number. They're more than just someone who's there to help keep the company going. They get respected. They get seen as a person, as a human being, not just production. If you could have all of that wrap up in one, if you could go back to school, and again, when I say in this opportunity, you get to trade and invest, you don't have to go out of the country to exchange currencies and still make a profit. If you want to decide that you want to run your own online store, and a lot of us out there, we've had products, anything that we tend to craft on our own, or things that we've tried, and having an inventory didn't work out or something like that, but you are interested in having your online store. I Am Mastery Academy. The opportunity is yours. You are in control. You get to be in control what you get from this. Great. If you don't believe in God, I can't say great. I can't say great because I'm a God believer, and I want everybody to trust and know where their help truly comes from. However, I can't force that on you. It's something that you have to want for yourself. But if you could be in a situation that it helps you with your faith, that your mindset is better, that you see things differently now. You're not just closed in a box. If you also get to be in a space where you're now providing more pots to put on the table, more pots on the stove, you know what I'm saying? Choose whatever it is you want to eat. The family gets to have choices now while learning a skill set, but also becoming a better you. Would that make a difference for you? Would that be something that you're interested in? And if you are, if you're my subscriber, if you're my looker, bookers, whoever joined, if you're my IG family, this could be for you. If you want to be in control of your life, of your destiny, of your future, of who you actually become, not who you had to become because you didn't have any other choice, because there were no other resources, because someone didn't tell you about it. You have that now. And I'm going to drop this information on my IG as well. However, if you're tuning in, if you're going to be watching this and you're ready to see what this is about, you're ready to step out on faith, not just on faith, you're ready to trust yourself. You're ready to see what you can really be by being in control. Then definitely drop a message here. My IG is at Molding Millionaires. My Facebook page is Deidre Wells. YouTube, Win with Wells. Please reach out to me, because for the next week or so at least, I'm accepting the next 8 students, customers, anyone who wants to grow. I have something special for you. So, if you want that information, if you want to be a part of this amazing opportunity where you get to be a better you, where you get to breathe a little, where you don't have to pinch all the time and be stressed. Because again, if you only have one source of income, that is so dangerous. This time, these days, this pandemic should have told you that having one stream of income is totally dangerous. So it is 2022. It is the year of double blessings, double faith, double portions of God. It is the year of double. And if you want to take part in that, if you want to claim what could be yours in this new year, if you're tired of having a closed in mind and only seeing things from one view, because even though we have one set of eyes that, you know, we get to look to the side, we get to see different directions. What about your brain? Are you allowing it to use all sides, all portions of it? Everything that has really been created to do? Or are you forcing it to be in this one little box and always remain whatever it's gonna, you know, I don't know. But it is Mindset Monday. So make sure that you keep in mind that you don't have to settle. That you can be or go or do whatever it is that you want to do because you should ultimately be in control of your life. Where you decide to live or what you decide to drive, what you decide to feed your family at night, that should not solely depend upon one source of income. And your life now is based upon what you bring home, where you live. All of that is based upon what you were able to afford, what someone told you that you were worth. What are you going to do with this information? If you want more information, if you would like to be one of the 8 students who get in contact with me, who wants to start your own organization, who you have decided that you're going to get some of this double in 2022, I'll be waiting and I cannot wait to show you greater. It has been Mindset Always Safe.